Oh, you can just hold it. Or, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I like Brighter Hill.
Keon, just give us some general thoughts on this game and kind of how it went. Obviously got down big and kind of fought to come back and I guess just couldn't maintain that.
I think as the seasons went on, we've realized that we're a team that can fight back. But I think a night like tonight, you just have to have one of those good starts, especially to a team like this that's kind of been hot lately. To put ourselves in a good situation from the jump and, not having to fight back. So I think just a better start and then, just have to keep attacking them play by play.
In the first half, the Warriors shot really well from three, a lot of open threes, corner threes. What was kind of the game plan on a guy like Draymond from there? It didn't look like there was a lot of tough closeouts and things like that. What was kind of the thought process on the defensive end?
Obviously want to make the guys that aren't their scorers try to beat you, but I mean, and if they do, you kind of just shake their hand at the end of the day. But I mean, obviously, him, Gary Payton got it going as well a little bit too. But I mean, I think once they knock a couple down, you got to give them a little bit more respect and, can't really worry about the scores and the shooters so much when, the guys who are considered not scorers are knocking down shots. So kind of have to just switch it up a little bit, maybe give a little bit of a harder closeout. But, I mean, that was kind of the game plan to force those guys to kind of have a night like they did.
Keon, in that fourth quarter, you guys gave up a lot of backdoor cuts. What was going on there? Communication issues or something like that?
No, I think they did a good job of manipulating our defense. I mean, we tried to face guard Curry, so they would put him in spots where there wouldn't be any help at the rim. So they ran some good sets, and the plays that they ran kind of took advantage of our focus on Curry. So I mean, there was a couple of times like that, but there was also a couple of times where they just kind of manipulated our defense.
Keon, obviously, you guys want to, make sure Steph don't get going, and because it could be a long night. But with knowing that he was approaching 4,000, was it extra emphasis on trying to, prevent that from happening, even though he only needed 2?
No, I mean, I don't think we've ever had a game against the Warriors and he's not made at least 2 threes. I didn't even keep track of that coming in, but I mean, I think for the focus is just more so not really trying to let him go off, not really worried about the 4,000 threes. We're just trying to get the win. So, but yeah, I wouldn't really say that overemphasize anything. I mean, we knew he was going to come out and be who he is, he shoots a lot of threes. So just trying to take that away.
Keon, of course, you don't control whether or not you start or come off the bench, but is your approach any different when you do come off the bench, and how can you try and get that the same impact that you have as a starter? How can you bring that in with that second unit when you do come in?
I don't think my focus is any different. than when I'm starting and when I'm not. But I mean, the only preparation that could possibly be different is just I honestly couldn't tell you. I kind of go into all the games starting or not the same way. But I mean, if I am starting, you know, you're kind of just already out there, so you know you're getting to it from the get go. So when you're on the bench, you know, you can kind of see, you know, what plays they're running, what are they trying to get to, and things like that. So kind of get a feel for the game a little bit before you get in. But I would say that's probably the only difference between starting and not starting. So when I'm in there, I just try to do what I can to help the team. So you know, the minutes thing doesn't really matter.
And kind of building off that, though, is it easier or harder to set the tone as a starter versus coming off the bench when, like you said, you get that information, you see how the game's playing, but right from the jump as a starter, you can kind of set that tone?
It's a great question. I mean, I think it depends. You know, if you're starting and, you know, you kind of have to be locked in from the gate. So if you go down, then I think it's, you know, it kind of shifts to the bench to come in and bring that spark to put us back. So, I mean, I think it just depends on the situation of the game. You know, if you come in, if you're coming off the bench and, you know, the team is down, you kind of have to bring that focus and that mentality as if you were starting, you know, and as soon as you get in there, it's time to go. So I don't truly think there's too much of a difference, but regardless, I think we do have to start better start the game better, obviously.
Keon, where's the mindset and kind of that sense of urgency is, like, these losses mount a little bit and that sixth spot gets further and further out of your reach?
I think we all know, you know, the season's kind of towards the end of it. So, I mean, you know, every game means just that much more. And, you know, you're getting less opportunities. By that, I mean, like, games to kind of increase your place in the standings. So, we know each one is very important to where we end up at the end of the season. So I think everyone knows in the locker room, like, as each game goes by, you know, they only get more important.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Keon.
Yep.
Good evening. When you hold Steph to 11, game plan wise, you got people shooting the ball that you want to shoot the ball. Give Draymond credit early on, knock down a couple. Gary Payton knocks down a couple. Those are people that we want to shoot the basketball, and they made them. They're professionals, high level. Cut it to 6. Don't value the ball as much as we need to, and they're a good team. That's a game, though, in my opinion, that we can win, and unfortunately, we did not bring our A game tonight.
Doug, Zach was 5 of 6, but only took 6 shots. From your perspective, do you think that is an acceptable level of aggressiveness for him? What do you think? Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think more than anything, like in some sense, you have to give Golden State credit for the way that they approach a player like Zach. But no, I want him shooting 16, 26 shots. Like that's more of the level that we want to see from him. But at the same time, you have to give them credit. They were physical with him. They switched off on him physically, the way that you are supposed to switch off on a really, really prolific offensive player. And for him, I'm sure he's going to be upset, and I'm hoping that he brings his game at an even same efficiency but a higher level tomorrow.
Coach, the Warriors made 11 of their first 17 shots behind the arc, first 15 minutes. What did you contribute to that? But later on, you did get a handle on it. But that start was.
I mean, those are the guys. Like you're gonna take something away from them, and we were taking Steph away. And those guys who knock those shots down, you're open for a reason. Like we want to see if you can make those shots. Now, some of them were, we need an extra rotation, and I was flagrantly upset with our guys for not rotating an extra rotation, even if it's a shooter that we want to have the basketball and shooting the ball. But like I said, listen, Draymond is a Hall of Famer. You got to give him credit. He's going to knock down shots. And first of all, that he has the guts and the confidence to take those shots, whether they go in or not. Gary Payton comes in, knocks down some, Buddy finds his way. Like those were the guys that you want to take it away from Steph. We did that. Those guys are shooting the basketball, and if they're shooting it like that, they're hard to beat.
Coach, obviously this was a frustrating loss, one you felt like you guys could get. But with the season dwindling down, what is the message to the guys, going in to close the season with a tough stretch coming?
Really more than anything is stay present and watch what's in front of you. And as soon as this game is over, it's over. We have to flush this, and we have to squarely look at Phoenix and figure out a way to go get a W. They're not going to get any easier. These are high-level teams towards the end of the season trying to find their way as far as rotations and flow and a lot of different things. So they're going to be playing. And we'll find a lot out about ourselves at the same time. So the next opponent is up. That is the Phoenix Suns. Be ready to roll in less than 24 hours.
Doug, before these last 2 games, the starts were really good and really consistent for your team. These last 2 that kind of slowed down. I think some people might see Malik's return and question that aspect of it. Kind of a 2-parter. One is Malik getting reacclimated to this group, and the second part is there any consideration at all to going back to what was working beforehand?
No, because we've won a lot of games with Malik in that position. I think that injuries and like when you guys look at it as like this present iteration of what happened. And what you got to understand is that before Domas got hurt, before Malik got hurt, they were starting to find their way as a unit. And once a guy gets hurt, you bring him back. You got to trust them. You got to let them find their game. And it's unfortunate that it's happening at this time. We're going to go the same thing if Domas plays tomorrow. He's going to play his minutes, and it's a possibility that he's rusty. It's a possibility that the flow's not there. Like those are things that happen that are you can't necessarily control. But what you do have to do is you have to trust your guys. They've they've put in a lot of work. They deserve that opportunity because when they are playing at a high level, it's beautiful to see.
Doug, I guess kind of along those lines with just making this group like mesh stylistically, like how much of a challenge has that been for you, for them as a group, with the guys in and out, and then also guys joining the team midseason who might be different than maybe the way the team was constructed previously?
You know, talking to the TNT staff before the game, like Van Gundy was like, these are the things that, you know, a coach might get this in 5 years. Okay, like when you trade your player, you fire, you lose coaches, you bring in multiple players all of a sudden, then you got injuries and all. Like, this is something that I'm seeing in 70 days. So it's going to make me better. It's going to make them better. We're going to figure it out. We're not going to sit here and have excuses. This is a game, in my opinion, that we should have won. Even the New York game, as tough as it was, just the higher level of competition. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about the Denver game. And, yeah, I don't want to get myself in trouble. So it's difficult, but it's doable. So I'm here for that.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate y'all.